everyone, and thank you for tuning in to LearnCast. My name is Mustafa, and today we will be discussing the importance of learning HGAP, Human Geography AP, or AP Human Geography, in an increasingly diverse America and an increasingly globalized world, international relations, etc. To start off, we'll be talking about how America is becoming increasingly diverse. So, America is built on diversity. You know, when you think of America, you think of certain things, right? One of the things that people think of when they think America is apple pie. We've all heard the phrase, as American as apple pie. But do you know where apples actually come from? China. They come from Asia. They don't even come from the land that we call America. One of the most key parts of being American, apple pie, its main ingredient isn't even from America. And that's a great metaphor for America as a whole. America is not its own thing. America is a melting pot of everyone else. Things and people and ideas and cultures and religions come from all around the world, but they settle here in America. And they create this beautiful and diverse American culture. Anyone can be American. Anyone can be American. The title of American isn't exclusive to just white people or just people who've been here for 3 generations. Anyone can become American. Immigration and asylum and refugees are what made America America. Let me give you a quote from President Truman. "Victims of war and oppression look hopefully to the democratic countries to help them rebuild their lives. The only civilized course is to enable these people to take new roots in friendly soil." Here, Truman is talking about the importance of the asylum process. The asylum process is a way of immigration into the United States. It's the way that the least amount of immigrants use. It's the least common way of immigration to the United States, but it's what makes America America. Immigration is key to the American dream. It's what made America America. People came to America fleeing from oppression and persecution all the time. And people are still escaping persecution and oppression all the time, coming to America hoping for a better life for their family and the greater good. Right now, Asian Americans are the largest growing group in America. They've historically been a very minor role in America, but they're becoming really, really big. Let me give you an example of how important they're becoming. The Virginia government, the state of Virginia government. In 2000, it was all Republican. All Republican. But as Asian Americans started to grow in the area, as a larger Asian American presence started to take root in that area, it flipped. It's now a blue state, completely blue. And I think that's amazing. The capital of the Confederacy is now the capital of banh mi and pho. If you don't know what banh mi and pho is, banh mi and pho are 2 very staple Vietnamese dishes. And before like the 70s, you could barely find banh mi and pho in the United States, but now it's almost in like every corner. It tells you how important diversity is to America. And before a certain time, finding Mexican food in America would have been crazy, but now Mexican food is synonymous with America almost. And by 2044, this is interesting, but by 2044, according to the US Census, by 2044, whites will no longer be a majority in America. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Who knows what will happen between 2020 and 2044? So much could happen that could be unpredicted. Now let's focus on the problems that come with diversity and how we can avoid them. So, when you have a lot of different people living together and you don't understand each other, there's a lot of animosity between people groups and violence can arise from that animosity, etc. And there are problems that minorities face in America that the majority just can't imagine, like cultural appropriation, etc. Or being the victim of a hate crime, or being the victim of prejudice. And again, all of that stems from a lack of understanding. Let's take these issues one by one. Cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is when a historically marginalized culture has their culture almost stolen from a dominant culture, or the oppressor culture. So the thing is, a historically marginalized culture will have their culture taken by an oppressor culture, and then the oppressor culture will benefit from it. And that's not ideal. People of color and marginalized people and minorities don't like that because they feel betrayed. It's not that minorities want to gatekeep their culture. Culture is beautiful and should be shared with everyone. But give credit where credit is due. Again, that comes from a lack of understanding. You need to be aware of cultural appropriation. Another problem is hate crimes. A lack of understanding leads to hate crimes, and unfortunately politicians will use this lack of understanding and the xenophobia to even fuel their campaigns, no matter what side of the political spectrum you are. There's hatred on both sides, hatreds of each other's opinions, hatreds of minority, no matter what side you are on. Politics is all about hatred, unfortunately. And again, I think that stems from a lack of understanding. I'm not going to name names, but there's this politician, right? And when they held rallies in certain counties, the counties that they held rallies in saw a 400% increase in hate crimes. Politics, a lack of understanding, and a lack of education, and xenophobia, that all leads to hate crimes, unfortunately. And recently, even in North Texas, there's this thing going around where Asians are being targeted because they typically take up IT sector jobs. So people have gotten letters in the mail saying, hey, we're going to shoot you in your place of work. So, yeah. HGAP is important, and it's amazing that we're taking HGAP. America is one of the few countries that doesn't require geography to be taught on the federal level, but certain states require geography to be taught, and Texas is one of those states. HGAP is very important in understanding each other. You understand the religions of other people, how culture spreads, how culture got where it is, and that's amazing. By taking HGAP, we are working to end this animosity between people groups, because again, most of these problems that arise from diversity and most of these challenges that come from diversity can be solved with just simply taking the time to understand each other. So take this class seriously. Take HGAP seriously, because you are making America a better place. HGAP provides you with the tools necessary to make educated decisions on how to care about each other. HGAP is an amazing class. You guys are so lucky to have this class offered, and you guys are so lucky to be taking it. Thank you for joining me for our review of human geography's importance in an increasingly diverse America. Be sure to follow us on Spotify, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check our website to stay up to date with latest releases. Until next time, listen, learn, and repeat.